G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today, we're all going to get metastatic cancer by flying the CL-13 Mark V. Now, a lot of people have debated over whether the CL-13 is the most overpowered jet in the game, and without a doubt, I will say yes it is. Why is that, you ask? Well, simply, it's a Sabre. It has a great roll rate, it has 50 cals, it is very fast, and what the Canadians decided to do to the CL was give it a better engine. So now it also has a better energy retention, better acceleration, and an even better top speed. So why is the CL so devastating? Quite simply, because it can do everything better than everyone else. Whether that is just slightly, or whether that is entirely, in cases like the Mystère, where you quite literally don't have a chance. It can pull with you if you equip boosters, it can roll with you, it can climb with you, it can turn with you, it'll even outgun you at some points, especially at range, since the Defa cannons have a sort of shotgun-like characteristic, whereas 50 cals tend to be a bit more like lasers. Now, as you can see here, I'm not climbing. I'm going straight for a rush. And the rush tactic, especially in fast jets like the CL-13, F2, MiG-17, even the MiG-15 BIS, Hunter, and even the A5, I certainly recommend that you use a rush tactic in. Now, this is where you don't climb at all, but you go for basically an on-the-deck rush. You make the most efficiency out of your speed, out of your energy and your engine, and you just go for it. Now, it sounds like it doesn't work, but in an upcoming video, I'll demonstrate why it actually works better than climbing like a prop. So, essentially, a jet works by thrust rather than by propeller wash, prop wash. So, the more thrust that you have, the more air that's going in, and the more thrust that you can get. Now, why don't jets all go at an infinite speed and just constantly get faster? Because of drag, obviously. So, you know, there's a few interesting things that you can do with a rush strategy. You can surprise jets that climb, like this A5 Sabre, for example. I'm forcing him into a turning engagement, and I have far more energy than he does. Just quickly again, my shadow play is doing dumb things and I'm getting some weird pixels. I'll try and sort it out, but in the meantime, just bear with me. If anyone knows why, do let me know, because it's extremely frustrating. And I see like a nice demonstration of the CL-13, which is this match, and all I get is this cancer. So looks like everyone's getting metastatic cancer today, including my shadow play. So, what do I do with this A5 Sabre? I'm playing the vertical with him, because he doesn't have nearly as much energy retention and nearly the acceleration. And so, what I'm doing is I'm just going vertical, waiting for him to turn, getting some speed, and I know I'll be able to get more than him, and then just going it again. The A5 gets bored and turns off, and yeah. That means that's energy saved for me, because now he's turn fighting on the deck and I have altitude and speed over him. As you can see, I'm catching him really, really quickly, and I'll be able to actually get some shots onto him here, and enough to do a critical hit, and he ends up going down. Now, the CL-13 is that good just because it can sustain such high energy maneuvers and not lose the speed, unlike the A5 Sabre. Which is why I think the CL-13 could do with a higher battle rating. Perhaps 9.3, perhaps even 9.7. I think I would prefer 9.7 for the CL, just because it's that good. And my CL isn't even spaded. I still have upgrades to go. I think I have the engine, and I think I have G-suit, wings. I don't even think I have boosters on the CL, although I don't see why you would take boosters. Now, the CL-13 is the fastest jet in the game. Now, I'm stock, and I'm catching a Hunter, and I do this all the time. It's not a rare occurrence, And I know this one has been turning, but I find it astonishing that there's a plane in the game that is able to outperform another plane in every single way, shape, and form. I find that bizarre, especially at top tier, when the idea is that everyone gets something that is somewhat competitive. But I guess this just comes to prove, that Britain is suffering. Please buff Challenger, please Gaijin, give Vickers, thank you, and English Electric Lightning, because we need something brutally overpowered, thank you. So, yeah. I would really, really like to see something done about the CL-13. I am told that the CL-13 could actually do a lot more in terms of airspeed and had a much more powerful engine than we have in-game. So, if it is given a buff, maybe it can even sit at 10.0. Maybe it's good enough to go to 10.0 in its proper state. So, I think that you could even put it there. I wouldn't be surprised if it could actually go at 10.0. And I am told that it can still keep up with stuff like the MiG-19, whilst not using Afterburner, I believe. Now, I find that quite astonishing that a jet at 9.0 currently will be able to dominate things like the Gloucester Javelin, because it will go faster, or at the same speed. And let's hope, I don't want to speculate too much, but let's hope that the Gloucester Javelin actually has something going for it, because otherwise we're going to be in a bit of a funny situation there. So as you can see now, back to the gameplay, an A5 Sabre, nice and slow. I go in for him, he's nice, slow, get some shots, and almost eat the water there. But all flying tail. Thank you, CL-13, for being brutally powerful. So at this point, I've realized that I'm out of fuel. And because I've taken minimum fuel, I realize I've got to go and get back to base. So, yeah, Hunter's pulling away from me in a climb, which is expected because I turned really, really hard. And once you turn really hard in the CL, you're bound to lose enough energy. And since that Hunter was traveling in a straight line and is climbing, I can understand. In a level flight, for example, the CL would have probably caught it, eventually, if not right away. Now, I end up going back to base with the MiG-15 saying to me, yeah, it should be fine. But the MiG-15 ends up dying, and it ends up being just me. So here I am in my CL-13, and I have to carry. But that's okay, because I feel really comfortable, because the CL-13 can easily dominate the F2, and it can easily dominate the Hunter without much of an issue, which is not only disturbing, but it's also frustrating as an F2 or a Hunter pilot. Because as a Hunter, you can pretty much do nothing except work with your team. And as an F2, you can pretty much do nothing but just get boom and zoomed. Because the only thing that you have over the CL-13 in an F2 are forward-facing firepower and turn rate. And that is literally it. And low-speed handling. So if I just play speed, I can catch the Hunter, and I can dominate the F2. The CL-13 has just so much going for it, and mine's not even spaded. Imagine a spaded CL-13 fighting against stock Hunters, stock MiG-15s, stock F2s, stock A5s. You can see where the problem is. Even when I'm facing spaded jets, or assumedly spaded jets, I feel comfortable flying this thing even when it's almost stock. That speaks volumes about the capabilities of the CL-13 as a jet in War Thunder. And if it were to get a higher battle rating of 9.3 or 9.7 or even 10.0, I would be perfectly fine with that. Because quite frankly, the CL-13 is overperforming for its matchmaker. The CL-13 has literally everything going for it that is the meta. It doesn't need to turn. It can play energy. It can play speed. It can play roll rate. It can play guns, which is the important thing in jets, turn rate is not exactly that important. It's more keeping your energy. And in energy fights, the person with the most speed and the most acceleration will tend to win 90% of the time. And that's what happens with the CL-13, because it has the speed, it has the energy retention, and it has the guns and the roll rate. So the CL-13 literally, quite literally, has everything going for it that matters. And that is why it should not be facing things like the LA-15, the AK-30, the AK-23. Now, back to the gameplay briefly, I go head on with this hunter and dip my wing into the ground. This is why I don't play jets, because I'm bad. But regardless, that's the end of the match, and that guy doesn't get shot down, so we lose. But I find that this match in particular is a really, really strong demonstration of the capabilities of the CL-13 to just walk over everything that is good at jets. So, for example, the F2 is a decent plane, the A5 is a decent plane, the Hunter is a decent plane, but you can just walk all over them, as if it were nothing. And I find that really, really stupid that Gaijin has let that happen for so long. I really, really can't wait to walk over CL-13s in my MiG-19. It's going to be so much fun, and I'm going to enjoy every single moment. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you next time. Don't fly CLs, because that makes you a beta male, okay? Bye-bye.